true story. I feel like I wish I was kidding, but that actually happened. Okay, left-hand side here. Molly, can you tell me what to do next, please? Start off, please.
Find the MPAs.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, we're dying here already.
oh gosh.
We done? Yeah.
Nope. There you go.
What are those two numbers, please?
-6 and 4.
-6 and 4. Maybe just before I continue, Ian, can you share with the class how you know you have to emanate out the fact your teacher told you for this question? What would be the key to this question, the wording? Yeah, it says solve, or it says equals 0, right? If it's the equation has an equals 0, or has a solving in here, you have to factor it to solve. All right, until we learn what to do today. All right, Aiden, that said, what do I do next with -6 and 4, please? Go ahead. Great. Derek, what do you do next, please?
Use divide into numbers by common.
Good. Go ahead. The last one, wasn't it? Oh, boy. All right.
So 3x.
Yeah.
In bracket x minus 2.
Good.
And then 4 plus 4.
Yeah.
X minus 2. And 0.
You have to put +4 in there.
What's that?
Yeah, that's really
The question was, you have to put the plus for 100,000%. All right. Can you use one part of Spider-Man, please, Caleb? It's all together. Okay, good. Caleb, what's the next step here, please?
You do all the brackets, so
Right.
x minus 2, and then back to 3x plus 4.
Right.
2.
All right, Lindsay, can you finish this one off? What does that actually do, please? Good. Okay, Carol, just to close their eyes for a sec. Who remembers this? Who mostly understands it? Who does not understand it or doesn't remember it? Oh, you guys are lying to me, at least one person. Okay, good. All right, this second part is what we did on Friday. Now, the reason I did Thursday, the reason I did letter A for you, although it was in the last unit, we're doing an extension of that today. Okay, and that's what today's lesson is going to be based on, the left-hand board. The right-hand board is what's written right here. So what I'd like you to do is to get your notes open right now, because I'm asking people to yell out, what each step means and all that stuff. So you should flip back to Thursday's note. If it took you 3 hours to do this, however long it took, or you had difficulty with it, you were unclear about one of the steps that happened along the way at least, okay? So, especially if you weren't here, I'm going to actually complete the note. I can't believe I'm doing this for you, but I'm going to. Can someone please, Noah, recite step 1, please, for the class? Now, you don't write this down here unless you're with people that weren't here on Thursday. Okay? So, because remember, we're looking to get into vertex form, that's what we're looking to go into there. All right? Megan, what are we going to factor out? What's the number we're going to factor out, please? Close? Not 2, not 2 is a negative 2. Okay. Let's go left beside the brackets, please. 4. That's 4, right? Because it looks like these were dividing -2 from here and here. Okay, now remember what we're trying to do here is that you want to get into standard form, okay? So what we want to have happen is you want to get, the A is going to be the -2, it's going to be that, and then inside the brackets we're going to end up factoring, right? All right, Maya, can you recite from memory or from your notes, step 2 is please.
Complete the squared, calculate the x coefficient squared.
Okay, I'm writing this on the board once because for the homework take-up, I'm not going to write out these steps again. Now again, For those that were here on Thursday, you should say, yeah, the steps will stay the same. The steps never, ever, never change. You do not need to write out the steps. I'm just writing them up so my notes are good. Jenna, why are you playing with Spider-Man? Will you break them? Please don't break Spider-Man. Oh, you broke them already.
Alright. Okay, hold on.
Okay, Jenna. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Bracket
Okay.
2
Okay.
over 2, I think. I don't know.
No. Okay, so let me help Jenna here. Okay. What do we take? Be careful when you're doing this. Hold on a sec. Aiden, go ahead. Okay, now let's just make sure that everyone in the class, hold on a sec, please. I want to make sure everyone in the class gets that, okay? It's always going to be just a number in front of the x that we're dividing by 2. Now, you're not dividing it by -2, you're not dividing it by the number in front of the brackets. It's always just going to be half of that number. Jenna, you're not done yet. What's -4 divided by 2 going to equal, please? Oh, too much pressure.
2. -2.
Good.
Sorry.
Well, never mind that. You're still not done. -2 times -2 is going to be what?
4.
Thank you. First day back.
Honestly, I don't get it at all this part.
Okay, ask away. Well, ask them.
What's
It's just
the
a step.
bracket for the first one?
Oh, all this is here. Okay, what we're trying to do in this step is that you're trying to make it so these numbers inside the brackets can change to something square. That's what you're trying to do. Okay, so you want to start to turn into, remember the original
Wait, so you
equation.
just take the first 2 numbers? Or the first number and the third number?
Huh?
You just take the first number and the third number out of it? No.
Take the third number.
No, can you repeat?
I think she means -2 with a -4. Yeah, I do always.
She thinks that you got the 2
No,
from the
the 2 is
negative
always,
to
the
the
2 is always, okay. So what I just did was this number right here. Was this number right here, okay? Got it? So the number in front of the x is always the same as that. You always take half of that, it's always just divided by 2, and you're going to square it. And then -4 divided by 2 is -2. Right, just using our math skills, forget about that part back here, right? -4 divided by 2 is just -2. And then -2 squared is going to be 4.
Oh,
We're good?
yes.
Yes.
Guys, in the bracket,
Okay, which part you're saying?
the brackets and oh, do they come in on? Like
Okay,
there was a
from here to here,
bracket, yeah.
Yeah, okay, the question was, okay, ready? The question was how do you get from here to here, right? The reason you put the brackets is because when you factor something, you need brackets, right? Because remember, if I distribute this upwards, -2 times x squared is here, -2 times -4. The brackets show that those both were divided by -2. That's the bracket show. All right, Alyssa, you're up to step 3. Can you recall what step 3 is, please?
Add and subtract the box numbers inside of the bracket.
Great. Okay. Cassie, go ahead, please. So y equals?
Y equals
Yeah. 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 Okay, so what happened there was we needed both the positive and the negative in there to have this work. Okay, the negative we don't actually need here right now. All right, so Hannah, what do we do for step 4, please?
you take the underlying term to factor it back.
Oh, not yet, not yet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, you multiply the -2 by -2.
Yeah, multiply the negative inside the brackets by the coefficient. Yeah, no, just this is all it is. A negative number.
Why do you only know?
Because what we want inside, well, I'll show you here on the next step. What we want is we want it to go, sorry. What we want is you want a trinomial here now, so that we can actually do like make it something square, so we can factor this. All right, so that's what we're trying to actually do is to make a trinomial. Okay. Okay. Liam, step 5. What was step 5, please?
Use the underlined term in fact or brackets.
And this is what was confusing people on Thursday. But I'm going to say that this equals y equals negative 2x minus 2 squared plus 5. Where the negative 2 is the same as this negative 2 over there. But people were getting all confused with this on Thursday, saying where did the x go and all that stuff back there. Nothing happened. So, if you don't believe me, what multiplies to 4 and adds to negative 4? Well, it's going to be negative 2 and negative 2, which makes it x minus 2 squared. All right. Okay, now before we're done here, what is my vertex and which way does it open, please? Noah, go.
It's 2 and 5,
Good.
and it opens down.
Okay, so we're going to redo this lesson again tomorrow to make sure this is good for people. Okay, right, or redo it with different numbers and fractions and decimals and all that stuff, okay? But those 5 steps are fundamentally important, okay? If something was not clear on the weekend, okay, you please, and if you didn't do those 5 questions, make sure that you're comfortable with them. If you struggle with them for a long time, as long as you understand at the end of the day, that's okay. But if you just got to the letter 7B and then you stopped, okay, it'd probably be a good idea to make sure you can do this, okay? The 5 steps, once that 5 steps never, ever, never, never change, okay? And that's why after, say, everyone in the class is here today, I'm never going to read out those 5 steps again. So if you weren't here, and there are at least 2 people I think that weren't, make sure you get those 5 nice and clear, because I'm just going to say step, 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 and I'll do that. Yeah, go ahead.
So the negative 4x, it just goes away.
Yes, this is the same thing we asked on Friday. I'll explain it again here. Okay, so think what happened was when I did x minus 2 squared and I FOIL it out, I changed it to x minus 2 and x minus 2, which is x squared minus 2x minus 2x plus 4, which is x squared minus 4x plus 4. So it didn't really go away, it just got, it's just hiding. How's that when it's been factored? Okay, right? Because like when you factor it, right, like it goes to a different number. No.
Oh my god, this is really stupid.
Yeah, go ahead, Jenna.
Can we go back to step 2 for a second? I have
Yeah.
a question.
No problem.
Okay, so you always take the third number for the
Yes.
numerator,
Yes.
and then you, hold on now, and then you do negative 2. How many times does negative 2 go into 4?
No. How many times is, it's always divided by 2, and I'll show you how the next example here, okay? Alright, so same way. No, go ahead.
What's it like an odd number like 5?
It'd be like 2.5 or 5 over 2. And now, that's going to be tomorrow's lesson. It's going to be, I use fractions and all that stuff, okay?
What's the fraction?
Well, there should have been fractions, yeah. I think there was accidentally 1 in F, I think was accidentally. I didn't intend to.
Are you supposed to use the decimals?
No, never again.
Oh, you.
Okay, 7B, here we go. Shh. Okay, so this is the one that was given to the person from homework. It looks like this. And I meant to do this in the easy one, but this confused people a lot. Okay, this first question. So if you did your homework, you'll have no issue with that. If you didn't, this is where the difficulties come in. Now, Lexi, I'm going to start with you. What is the invisible number in front of the x squared there? 1. Okay? So if you say to yourself, this question looks nothing like what we did for homework. You're kidding yourself, okay? Because it looks exactly, if you throw an invisible 1 there, now it's the same thing. Let's see, you're not done. Do the first step for me, please. Do you remember what the first step is? Okay, I didn't hear that, but I hope you said this. I didn't hear yet, but I hope that's what you said, okay? So what we're going to do for the first step for completing the square is that you're going to divide the first 2 terms, right, by the number in front of the x squared. Emily, second step is going to be what? You want your notes, okay?
Wait a second. So did you do negative 4
Yeah.
divided by 2?
Yeah. Okay, now Jenna, I'm picking on you. Where did the negative 4 come from?
The -4
Yeah.
up there.
Good. Where did the 2 come from? That's all right. Where did the 2 come from?
The dividing.
You always divide by 2. It has nothing to do with the question. It's always dividing by
So
2.
you always put a 2.
Always put a 2.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
now I get it. There were 2 comes.
Yeah. It's always going to be there.
Is
Yeah.
it always to the power of 2?
Yes. It's always like that. The only number you put in is just within the numerator here. That's it. Like that, negative 4 turns that negative 4. All right. Emily, you're not done. What's negative 4 divided by 2? Good. And what's negative 2 squared?
4.
Okay. Which conveniently is always the last question.
Is it always like this?
What's that?
Is it always here?
No. I just happened to work out for those 2 examples. All right, Natalie, what do I do next, please?
Such dy equals 1.
Yeah.
X squared minus 4x.
Yeah.
Plus 4 plus 5.
Okay, so what she did correctly was you add and subtract whatever is in the box number, right? So the box number was 4, so we're going to plus it and we're going to minus it. All right, Desiree, what comes next, please? Desiree, what comes next, please? This is the 4th step, I think. What's the 4th step? Good. So what we're going to do to remove the negative from the bracket is you're just going to do 1 times negative 4 and run it out. So it's going to change into 1 x squared negative 4x plus 4 and then negative 4 plus 5.
So do you always have to put the, so say how many multiplied by -4, do you always have to put that term first?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like it works the same way either way, but no question.
Could you just skip that, like, between the, negative 4 squared and all, like, could you skip that one?
I'd recommend putting it in because we're going to get fractions on it tomorrow. So you can technically, yes, you can go right from here to here. But like in this case, it's easy because there's a 1, right? Okay, but I generally try not to avoid it there. All right, Karina, how do we factor these brackets? What does that turn into, please?
Okay, y equals 1 bracket.
Yeah.
X.
Yeah.
Take away 2.
Yeah.
Bracket squared.
Yeah.
Take away 4 plus x.
Yeah, I'll just call that plus 5. Okay, now can somebody other than Spencer, because I know he's just new here the first day, he's seen 2 of these in his life, where did that negative 2 come from? Luke, where?
Because after that negative 4 divided by 2 squared,
Yeah.
negative.
This number right here is always going to match that number, 100% of the time. It's gonna
Why
match that
wouldn't it just be 4? Like, why would, like, where does that 4 go?
Which one? Just like here, I just factored out, right? So I skipped through a whole bunch of steps completing the square. But what you'd technically be doing is you'd be saying, okay, well, we multiply to get 4, we add to get negative 4, and then you do all the factoring stuff, and then you get to here. Okay, so I want to avoid the factoring stuff here because starting on Wednesday we'll get some messes like fractions and stuff, and it's hard to factor fractions. It's very, very difficult too.
So will we have to?
Yes, you'll have to deal with fractions. We won't have to factor them, which will just simply have to go from here to here, right? But there'll be a number instead of a number. All right, Spencer, I'm going to pass on you for right now, but you don't get a pass. You'll start when the lesson starts. All right, Calvin, what's the vertex, please? Careful. Yeah, careful. Because it's the opposite, too. Because remember, it's the opposite of that number. So yeah, it's the opposite of that number now. Are you opening upwards or downwards?
Why don't no?
Because okay, the question was open upwards or downwards. Because this number is positive, it's going to open upwards. Remember, I did this silly little thing here.
Oh, I thought it used the x minus 2.
Okay. Okay, can everyone close your eyes for a quick sec? Who feels 100% good with the last 2 examples? Who feels sort of good but could use more practice? Who feels okay but could use a lot more practice? Okay. For those people that need a lot more practice or some more practice, we're doing a whole nother lesson on this tomorrow. Okay, so, but those 5 steps, you all have to make sure you got them down like automatic pilot. Okay, so what'll happen is tomorrow you'll get a whole bunch of homework on this stuff, and then on the weekend you'll have, like 10 completing the square question of their assignment or whatever. Right? Yes.
Why does the 2 change, but the
the one that,
Because the general vertex form is this. This right there. Remember x minus 8, so that's going to switch over. The other reason is, right, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to find what number makes this part 0. Because if you do 2 minus 2, that part is 0, and your y is going to be 1. Like if you plug in that 2 to this equation, right, like 2 minus 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pause the video. Then we're going to get started here. Is there anything else you guys? Can I skip this till tomorrow? Clean the square? I hope so. If I can't, I'm sorry, but I have to. It is.